Happy Monday. Donnie Baker, LPR Sound Foundation's here with you with another awesome training about how to edit your podcast. That's what we've been talking about the last few weeks. Creating a podcast, recording a podcast. Now we're talking about editing your podcast. There are tons of tools that you can use to edit a podcast. I'm gonna share with you a couple of different tools that you can use. Some are free, some are not free. They are not affiliate links. I do not affiliate myself with any DAWs. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a Pro Tools guy. I don't want to be a Logic guy. I don't want to be a Reaper. You know what? Whatever DAW you're using, that's the best. Whatever DAW that you are happy with and you are comfortable with and you're quick and you're efficient, that is the best DAW for you. So we're going to talk about podcast editing today, but first I've got something free for you. I've got a thing about podcasts, creating, recording and editing and that kind of thing. It's just a quick PDF. Go grab it. It's learnprorecording.com/podcast. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Go grab that, man. 100% free. Again, why do we say 100% free? It's just silly. I don't know why I say it, but it just comes out that way. 100% free. No, mine is only 90% free. You got to pay me 10%. So, whatever, man. You only get 10% of the thing unless you send the money. So, no, dude, it's free. Go grab it. learnprorecording.com/podcast. So, what we're going to talk about is some different tools that you can use to edit. Okay, some are free. I'm gonna put links in the description. If you guys want, go down there, check out the links. Go check out, if you don't have one that you already use, go check it out. Some have demos, some have, you could try them out before you have to buy them, the ones that are not free, but some are free. If you get into the free ones and you like it and it works for you, by all means. I am going to show you some editing tricks that I use. Of course, I used Pro Tools for this one because I like Pro Tools. I'm quick, efficient. I know where everything is. The buttons make sense to me. So I used Pro Tools for this, but it's the same. It's kind of the same thing that you're going to do. You're going to cut out the ums and uhs and that kind of thing. I don't. Honestly, you guys know if you've been watching my podcast, if you've been watching these for a minute, I don't care about the ums and uhs. I say and a lot, and that's just because y'all get me. But what we're going to talk about is I've got some cool stuff I'm going to share with you today. Like I said, I'm going to put links in the description. One free one is Audacity. If you guys like Audacity, a lot of people use it. It's simple, it's quick. It does have some limitations, but it's not that bad, and it's free. That's the big part of it. GarageBand. If you guys are already, if you have a Mac, you have GarageBand. If you have an Apple product, you have GarageBand. It's built in. If you've got an interface and a way to record into multiple microphones into GarageBand, it's perfect for podcasting because it's simple, it's easy, and it's already built in. It's already on your Mac. Another one is Adobe Audition. If you've got the Adobe package, or they actually have a free version of Adobe Audition. It's simple, it's easy, it's not complicated to understand. I mean, basically you're cutting in and out and adding fades. You might need to add some music underneath, that kind of thing, but it's all available right there in these DAWs. Reaper, I'm not that familiar with Reaper. There's a lot of people I know that do use Reaper, especially for podcasting, because it's stable. And once you get it set up the way that you like it, with colors and brands and how you like moving things around, it's awesome. I've got a really good friend who he's got a weekly podcast where he interviews guests, and he's all about Reaper because it's open source, so it's simple. It is. Of course, you can buy a larger version of it, but you don't have to. Use the free version, and it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. It works great, but you got to get used to it. The learning curve on Reaper is a little bit steep. If you're not familiar with how DAWs work. If you are, it's pretty simple to jump in. We also have Descript. Now, there's another one, Wavelabs Wave Sound Editor, otherwise known as, what we call it, WavePad. That's kind of what it's known as, WavePad. I'm not familiar with this. It's a PC product. I'm not familiar with it at all. I honestly have never even looked at it, but I'm sure it's simple. I'm sure it's kind of like GarageBand, where it's part of the package when you buy a laptop, a PC laptop. Riverside is, I think they have a demo of it. I looked at it once. It is built for podcasting. It's built for podcasting if you're going to have remote guests come in. It's way better than Zoom. The quality is way better. If you, again, there's a description. There's a link in the description. Go grab it. Go look at it. It is. It's not free. I think there is a demo version, but it's quite limited. But honestly, if you're doing a lot of these podcasts where you actually have remote guests, it makes a lot more sense than Zoom. Zoom works great. There's nothing wrong with it, but the quality's not there. Zoom is, I think you're limited to, 320 on your resolution. You have to ask if you want more. If you want to go to 720, you got to ask. If you want 1080, you got to pay, and it's not cheap. That's the big one. So if you do want that, it's not cheap at all. And then we have Descript. I do use Descript sometimes, especially on a short. If I'm making a short for Instagram or a vertical video, it makes a lot of sense. What it does, it gives you a transcript of the words that you're saying. It fills out the words that you're saying, and you can just go in and say, take out all the ums, take out all the uhs, take out all the when I said stupid stuff, whatever. You can just go through and select a word, even video. It actually syncs to the video. So if you take out a word, it actually cuts the video too. But I kind of don't like that. No offense to anyone that uses that kind of cuts on their video podcast. I can't watch that. I can't watch what we call jump cuts. I just can't deal with it. It's just too much for me. So be aware of that. Descript is awesome. I do use it, and it works great for what it does. I actually pay for a version of it, but I don't use it that much. I end up using the free stuff anyway. Of course, you got Pro Tools, which is Avid Pro Tools. Again, there's a link to it down below. If you guys know what Pro Tools is, you know what Pro Tools is. Same with Logic. If you know what Logic is, you know what Logic is, and Logic is Logic. Logic is like the bigger, older cousin of GarageBand. If you are producing music, you're going to use Logic. If you're recording, editing, and mixing music, you're going to use Pro Tools. These are actually big DAWs that are commercial, and they're used in commercial studios, commercial podcasting, recording devices, things like studios, things like that. So let's go look at some editing. Let me share with you some editing. I'm going to play a video right now, and it's going to be really simple. All I'm doing is cutting out the ums and adding fades. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do a single vocal, like a single person doing a podcast, such as this one. And then I'm going to show you a multi-microphone podcast and how you might want to edit that up. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, here we have a single voice podcast, and this is in Pro Tools. And dude, honestly, the easiest way to edit this is just to go through it. There's a little lip smack right there. You can actually see these things, man, but there's a little lip smack right there. You just literally go in here and cut that out. If you feel like this was well recorded, so there's not a lot of noise in between. But if there was noise, you could actually go in here and fade out and fade in, just like you would if you're, recording music. You know what I mean? So this is going to be our first attempt at I'm turning this up so you can kind of hear it. It's not about the vocal quality. It's not about that. You're just hearing whatever you're hearing out of my speakers into this microphone that I've got going on here. This is going to be our first attempt at if you want to get like super, you can go in here and take these breaths out. You don't need those. That's fine. At a podcast, okay? So maybe you don't want to say it. Maybe you don't want to hear the word okay. All right. Now, when you're doing it this way, I suggest that you edit from the left to the right. That way, if you got to pull things in, you pull everything in that's on to the right of it. So, right. So you can pull these two together so it feels more natural, like he's talking together. At a podcast. So. Yeah. See, it kind of went into the okay. So you could actually add a little fade there, so you get rid of the O. So, I mean, I don't know. I would. That's not bad. So, okay, you can see that they cough there, so you can take that out. You can actually see what that is beyond that. That's a lip smack, so you can kind of get rid of the lip smack and the breath. So you get rid of all this. All this can go away. You can pull this closer. So, but make it feel natural, Just a little background. Make it feel natural, like somebody said, so, just a little background. Maybe a little bit closer. So, just a little background. This is who we are. We are, first of all... Okay, so you could take that out, that breath. You don't really need that. We are, first of all, you're on Learn Pro Recordings. See, all right, there's a mistake, right? So... So you can stop probably right after the we are. This is who we are. We are. The first we are. You probably stop there. I mean, this is all creative. A lot of this is creative. I mean, sometimes you just want to take out the breaths and things like that, but a lot of this is creative when you're editing a podcast. You want it to flow like a show, like you'd want to listen to it. This is who we are. First of all, you're on Learn Pro Recordings website, right? You're on Learn Pro Recording. So it screwed up right there, so you could get rid of the first little mistake there. And I mean, look, I personally don't mind the ums and uhs. I mean, this podcast that I'm editing right here. This is me, and this is the one that went out. I mean, this was like a really early podcast from 2021. But I don't mind the ums and uhs because I'm kind of natural. I like it that way. But if you want to take it out, you can. You certainly can. So you can kind of get rid of some of the stuff you think you don't need, but as an editor, you have a little creative freedom to do this. This is who we are. Learn Pro Recordings website right now, probably. So that kind of didn't make sense. So you kind of want to pull this back out a little bit. That kind of really didn't make sense. What he said there. So let's go. Let's try it here. You're on there you go. Well. All right, so this is a mistake. So you can get rid of that, put these two together, and now it sounds like this. It says, all right, so you got to kind of clean up that little edit there, make it a little smoother. That's acceptable. I mean, it's a podcast, you know what I mean? Somebody's listening to it in their car or whatever, or in earbuds. They don't really, it's not that big of a deal. You're on Learn Pro Recordings website right now, probably finding this on learnprorecording.com or the Instagram or the Facebook or the Twitter, all the other social crap that we're on. So that's pretty much it, man. That's how you would edit a single voice podcast. Okay, so now we have a 4-person podcast. And you can see that they're just mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic 4. You see all the routing and all that. This isn't about the routing and printing just yet. There will be time for that in the course. So we're actually developing a mini course about podcast recording and editing and mixing. So we're going to bring that out later. But for now, I just want to share with you how I kind of do these edits. And this is Pro Tools. And this is, whatever tool you edit in, it's pretty much the same. You put your audio onto the track, and then you're going to edit out where the person's not talking. So here's a great example of it right here. This person, you can see that they're talking right here, and they're not talking here. And whoever was talking here is no longer talking here because this person is talking. So you want to cut out where this person's talking and this person's not talking. You want to cut all that out, so just to clean it up. So if we solo this and listen to this, this is yourself. So the girl does say something right there, and she doesn't say anything until, again, right here. So you can get rid of all that, okay? This person's not talking here. This person did say something here. If you got to go in and solo, see? So that person did say something there, but this person didn't say anything there, okay? And this person didn't say anything there. So you're starting to cut out where people are not talking and where people are talking. Okay, so now when you hear everything together, now it kind of sounds like this.
Yourself? I'm a producer. I am a producer.
See, now you got a lot of people talking over each other at the same time, but if you listen to these two together, right here.
I'm a producer.
So they're saying it at the same time, or you might be hearing this guy in this guy's microphone or this guy in this guy's microphone. So you got to discern which one is which. It kind of looks like to me.
I'm a producer. I am a producer. And y'all
So it kind of looks like to me that this guy didn't say this, but if you just cut this out, mute it, and now it's going to sound like mute it. Let's just cut that out for now. So if you just cut this out for now.
I'm a producer. I am a producer.
See, so that was each other. They're probably sitting right next to each other.
I'm a producer. I'm a producer.
So you can get rid of that. You don't really need that. Trim that up a little bit. So
I'm a producer.
So now when you hear everybody talking together, you're going to hear this.
Yourself?
I'm a producer. I'm a producer.
So again, we need to cut some of this out. We don't need any of that. So
Yourself?
I'm a producer. I'm a producer. I am a producer. And y'all follow lots of producers, right?
Yeah, of course.
so that you can get rid of that. Get rid of that. You don't need any of that.
Follow lots of producers, right?
Yeah, of course.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So I think there's been a big trend.
Are they a producer or are they a beat maker?
Ooh,
That's the
good
difference.
So you can get rid of some of that. That's those other people talking. Now this is kind of loud, so you can actually bring that down a little bit.
There's been a big trend.
Are they a producer or are they a beat maker?
So you can get rid of all this. You don't really even need any of this in there.
Exactly. So I think there's a big.
A lot of this is visual. I mean, to be totally honest with you, a lot of this is visual. I'm looking, all right, so you can actually bring the gain up on all the waveforms, and you can actually see where people are speaking and when they're not speaking. You know, so a lot of this is visual. You can do this visually. Look at this. You can see this guy's, this is probably, this little thing that you see here is probably this guy speaking in this guy's microphone. Okay, so we can actually get rid of that because you can clean it up. Put fade in, fade out, that kind of thing. You saw that there was a breath there, or there might have been the other person talking there, so I took that out. This might be this guy talking. You can go, if you question it, you could solo it. Yeah, see, that's that other guy's talking, so you could just get rid of that. You don't need it. So now when you hear these two guys talking together,
Producers, right?
Yeah, of course.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
so you don't need this. That's that other guy. See, these guys are sitting right next to each other, and that's what you're hearing is that they're sitting right next to each other, and the microphones are bleeding into each other. So you just follow along the rest of the podcast. Yeah, this is tedious, but you know, the cleaner you can make it, the cleaner it's going to sound, the better it's going to sound. The more of a reputation you're going to get into the field of podcast editing that your clients are going to appreciate and going to pay you for to do that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me here. I'll put my email up, and if you guys can do your own podcast and practice editing your own podcast. Do a single microphone podcast. Maybe bring some of your friends over and you guys do a podcast. You never know, man. That podcast might just take off. It might be the funniest thing that everybody's ever heard, or it might be the more informative thing that everybody's ever heard. So this isn't about this episode today isn't about what to put in your podcast. This is about how to put a podcast together. Now, another thing is if you have music, you can bring music in and then you mix it and you print it, and that will be another episode for another day. This was simply about the quickest way to edit in Pro Tools. Of course, if you're faster in Logic, like I'm not, then use Logic. If you're faster in Studio One, like I'm not, then use Studio One. Whatever your tool is, use that. There are tons of free audio editing softwares. There's Adobe. There's just a ton. GarageBand. You guys that are on a Mac, you have GarageBand. It's already built in. It's already there. Go edit your heart out and make that podcast and make that podcast money. Being able to offer a podcast and podcast recording and podcast editing is just simply another income stream that you can bring into your arsenal to continue to work when the music slows down, or bring in other people to help you build and grow in the podcast world. Podcast world is definitely never going anywhere. AI cannot replace a podcast as far as we can see right now. So with that said, let's head on out. So hopefully you got something out of that. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I was helpful. You know, that kind of thing. Hey, while you're down there, leave a comment. Let me know if this is something that you like seeing. We do have a thing coming up next week. We're going to start I think a 5-part series, which is kind of ironic because it's the top 5 of things. Next week is going to be the top 5 budget microphones. So we're going to look at the budget microphones, and this is my top 5, the ones that I think are awesome for the money. You know, there are plenty of budget microphones out there, but we're going to do a top 5 series starting next week. So get ready for that. It's going to be about 5 weeks. We're going to talk about the top 5 DAWs, the top 5 preamps, the top 5 microphones. It's just a top 5. So get ready for that. Again, let me give you the thing one more time about how to start, build, and grow your podcast business. Now, having a podcast, being able to offer a podcast in your studio business is just another income source that you can have to build your client base, to build your income, of course. And of course, there's, if you got video, if you got lights, it makes more sense as well, because you can charge more money and you get another client base. Sometimes people don't want just audio podcasts. They want to have video. Thanks, Joe Rogan again. And, this is an awesome thing. I mean, this camera is not an expensive camera. Of course, it is a little bit of investment, but at the same time, it's, it gives you another tool that you can attract another client base. So there is that. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and go forth. Have a wonderful week. And I'm so happy that you hang out with me on a Monday, man. This is awesome. Hopefully I've made your Monday feel a little bit better. Hopefully I've got you thinking about some stuff that you can build into and grow into. And hopefully you're going to go practice on learning how to edit some podcasts if you've never done it. So have a great week. My name is Donnie B. I'm going to get up out of here, and we will see you Wednesday on the blog post, and look out for next week when we do the Start Our Top 5 series. Again, Donnie B, I'm out of here. Peace.